Red torch, green ball, sentry hawk. Yeah, I like that. Hello there, and we're going to continue to work on uh, a selection screen. Last time we just added the button and transition from one screen to the next. So we'll go back to here. Go ahead and move it over here. So this isn't going to be like a normal start screen. We're just going to have, since this is just for you to play around with, it's just going to be a screen where you can select, each player can select the ship they want, and then they'll start the battle. We're not going into the whole mechanics of menuing. So the next thing we're going to do is we need to go to our global objects. So in our controller, I'm going to add our controller to the primary screen as well and make it more of, do I want to do that? Okay, so we have all these global variables. What we're going to do is create an object to initialize our global variables. And there's many different ways you can do that, actually creating them. So normally when we just had the one screen, I had it in our controller, these couple variables to use. I'm just going to put them in a different object that we're going to start on our select screen. So they get called prior to doing anything, and we'll add that up here in the corner. So this is going to be, we're going to add two more variables. And this will, how we start off the screen. So they're going to start off with the first item selected. So we're going to create another object. Actually, first let's create the sprite for it. We're going to create a select box. And see, we'll keep it 32 by 32. Our ships are 32 by 32. And so we're just going to make a box out here to the edge. Okay. We'll go ahead and center it. Now we'll add that as our selection box for this object select. We'll do a create event. And we're going to scale it up. I guess realistically I could just made it larger, but and we're going to make this the player ID, and we're going to put all of the attributes for everything in here that would normally be assigned to our ship. All right, there we go. And then in our ship, we're going to add a step event. And we're going to create a script to actually do the change. It's a little bit hidden at the moment. So this is complaining because I haven't created the script change, but we'll do that in a second here. We'll do, we'll go back over here and create the script. Now we're going to actually have 3 ships that you can select from. So in case you add more ships or more variables, you can adjust it in one place and not have to do that too many times. And this is where we'll actually modify what's being selected. Give it ship a name, some damage, all the things that we would normally do, what we normally set for our ship. And we'll actually replicate this because we don't, these are all the variables we're going to set for the next time. Maybe give it different variables here. Maybe more damage, not fire quite as often. Alright, so this is going to be 2 90 HP mats, rotate, max speed, accelerate, bullet speed, bullet damage, fire range. Okay. Now if you're going to have more than 2 players, you'd add more conditions. So now we're going to create another script. So this is going to be setting the stats once we get our ship in place. And I guess really the other one we didn't need to do all the things that we did do, but we're going to take all this and replicate over here. So really, in the first one, we do need this because we're going to use these to show, if we want to show the stats, draw the ship and then show the stats on the right to modify it so they can see it, what they're selecting. So we do need that there. It's a little bit of replication and we try to avoid that as much as possible. Alright, so we have this. We've changed it when we do a selection. In our player 1 ship, during our initialize player, we're going to add, we're going to set our stats to whatever our player 1 selection is. And on player 2, we're going to do the same thing. Let's get out of everything for a second and make sure we're... Alright, we've put next, global pot. So let's see, if we just take our object now on our select screen, one there, and one there. I'm going to take this one, and on a creation code, what do we need this to be? Our player ID. And then on this second one, we're going to make it player ID 2. Oh wait. Let's see how this looks. I'm assuming I missed something. Alright. Object select. Here we go, player ID down here. Okay. So there's nothing there yet. We're going to pretend they've already selected the ship ID. Try that. Oh, alright. Let's see. Ship the object on create. Oh, because we have not. We're just drawing the object. So one of the things we need to do is go here and override what we're drawing. So first thing we're going to do is draw the object itself. Now we're going to draw the ship on top of it. Let's see, what do we have for our fonts? We'll just use the score for right now. You may want to change what the font is and add a new font depending on what you're doing, but all right. And just X scale, Y scale, rotation, making the color, and the alpha. So let's go ahead and try that. Make sure that's finally doing what we want it to do. Okay, yeah, there we go. I'm gonna have to adjust some things. It's like the size of the square. You can see that it changes the ship we're picking. And what we can do is with this, we can add a couple more stats so we know what we're looking at to maybe make a better selection. And really, you can take any of the stats because we're setting this every time we make the selection. You can take any of these and try to visualize it for the player if that's what you want to do. We're going to take max speed, and we're also going to take the fire rate. Oh. So we need to move these down. Alright, so the first one, oh, we want our HP still. Gonna add 32 because we know that's the height. Oh, 64 there. So yeah, you can tell the different stats depending on what. Now, if we were gonna try to make this, clean this up, we'd definitely spend a lot more time improving the visuals of it. For like to make the box bigger, make this move over some, or make it larger, or change different colors. So yeah, we can do that. Change on the last one, make it different color. So yeah, that's already improving the way it looks. So let's go back up here and just go back in the image and resize it, stretch it. Yeah, I mean, you have to play with it, maybe not make it quite 64, let's say 48. Always make sure you recenter it. So there's your selection screen. And then one thing we could do is go up here before we or up higher. Maybe just add which player it is. Yeah. So there you go. You can do different things pretty quickly just to get a selection screen going. Now let's make sure it actually works. We had that fade out. All right. I remember what we did. So we're going to change, we don't see it yet. We're going to change this battle screen. The reason why that looks weird is on our global screen. Our global screen has a different size, and we're just randomly picking where that player starts. And yet our battle screen is so much smaller, so it could be somewhere outside there. So we're just going to adjust our image here as well. Reviews. Okay. So we're still not applying the change here, so we need to fix that. I'm going to do something else. That screen drives me crazy. Because we've scaled everything differently, we're going to edit this screen, stretch it, make it twice as big. Then, so when we go to the other screen, controller. All right, so we are doing an instance create, player one. So player one goes in here, and they initialize and post to pick. Let's see if either one works. So let's switch it to something totally different. Okay, neither one is changing. All right, so that's working. Player 1 initialize is not working. Oh. We need to update. Yeah, that was really the only, I think that's the only piece we're missing. Let's select it for each one. One will be correct and one will not. So player 2. The other thing we need to fix, I believe, is in ship, when we actually get hit, I think we get hit by a bullet. I'm going to create a hit damage. And then when we get hit by a bullet, we're going to take it from the other. And then that way we take hit damage based on that. We get hit by an asteroid. Just change what it gets hit. I think the other has damage as well. I think everything has some sort of damage. If not, we're going to add it. Damage equals 1. Alright, so we are going to go ahead and start everything off the same. Yeah, there we go. Let's see, is there something we need to do different? I think this is supposed to be double damage. So make sure the bullets have damage. Okay, so when we fire. Alright, so we are some sort of object damage. When the ship fires. That's a new thing we're adding to the bullets. Alright. One, two. Yeah, there's 2 damage each time. Yep, that's what we want. So now we've got different bullet damage than we had before. Alright, so we're going to switch to these 2 ships. Make sure starting them off correctly. Yep. The one thing that looked weird out of all this was when we... Oh, okay. So when we set the stats back to the ship, we need to go into our initialize ship, and we need to make sure our HP is reflective of our max HP. Is reflective of what we selected. I think that's what we gotta do. So there's usually a lot when you switch out characters and stats. You just gotta make sure you catch all the weird things that can go wrong. So one more time. Make sure this looks at least the way we want it to. Oh. So we notice our player one screen over here is correct, looks correct. This is not moving over the way it should. And then selected player, different image. Ship 1, ship 2, ship Bright Hawk. We're going to do our set stat, ship 1, ship 2, Hawk. Oh, we need to move this because our max HP is changing. We need to move that down. That's why it looks weird. Yeah, there we go. So that'll fix that problem. Now, the only thing I saw that was weird, when we start the players up, let's get rid of this. We don't need that one. We want it when they create them. All right. Player 2 and player 1. But they both wound up the same, even though they are supposed to be created differently. Why is player 2? Oh, here we go. That's easy enough. Player 2 didn't set their quick stats. That should finally do all the things we needed to do. So start up with our start screen. We can select the type of ship we want. We can start it. They have, each side has different health. Let's see. This one, when one shoots, it does, let's see, make sure it does 1 damage. Oh, that one still says 2. No, 1.5, because it'll be 1, 2. All right. 2, 2. Oh, that's 2, and 1, 2, 1. Because the green one we set to 1.5 damage. So yeah, they're doing the different things. We've set the stats. The only thing I think gonna do different real quick here is draw the ship name. Red torch, green ball, Century Hawk. Yeah, I like that. That's it's kind of what we're looking for as far as selection screen. You can add as many ships as you want. Really, the difference that you would do is just to add a new ship, add this sprite, and then these two scripts here. One would be to go in here and increase the number of selections, duplicate the stats, and then update it with what you need as far as the sprite, and then change the name and the stats. And you would essentially copy, once you do it here, you copy that code over here because it's the same block of code. I mean, we could actually consolidate it, that way you only have one place to do it. And then that way you have your two things. You're selecting your ship, your stats, and adding an image. That's trying to get it so you can play, add as many ships as you want, and have a nice little select screen. So until next time, good luck coding.